Hello children, today I'm going to continue with our lesson 4 of your reader book, that is the ashes that made trees bloom. Okay, in the first part of the video I told you that an old farmer with his wife lived in a village. They had a pet dog called Moku. The old couple treated this pet as their own child. One day, the dog helped the old farmer in getting a heap of gold, isn't it? The couple had a very jealous neighbor who coaxed the dog to their house to help them also in getting the gold. But unfortunately, they got only a dead kitten. In anger, they killed the dog and buried it under a pine tree. The owner of the dog felt very sad and he was deeply depressed also. At night, he had a dream in which the dog instructed him to cut the wood of the pine tree and make a mortar and a mill. Okay, now this is what we learnt in the first part of our video. Now let us see what happened later. Okay, shall we start with the lesson? So the old man chopped down the tree and cut out of the middle of the trunk a section about 2 feet long. With a great labor, means with great work, he had to work a lot. With great labor, partly by fire, partly by the chisel, he scraped out a hollow place as big as a small bow. So what happened? The old man, what did he do? He had dreamt, isn't it? So next day, the old man went to that tree. He chopped down the tree. Chopped means he cut down the tree. And what did he do? The middle part of the trunk. He used the middle part of the trunk. About how long? 2 feet long. 2 feet लंबा उसने उन्होंने ले लिया. With great labor means with great work, partly by fire, partly by the chisel. Yani these are the tools. Chisel is again a tool. Okay. He scraped out a hollow place as big as a small bow. Now what is the meaning of scrapped? Cutting small pieces of the surface. I have written the meaning here. Can you see? Cutting small pieces of the surface of that wood. He took the wood and he scrapped it. He then made a long handle hammer of wood. He again also made a hammer out of that wood, such as is used for pounding rice. Pounding rice means to make a powder of that rice. Means he took a bowl like this, isn't it? He like this. He took a bowl like this, and then with the same wood, he made a long handled hammer also. Okay. When New Year's time drew near, means during the New Year time, what did he do? He wished to make some rice pastry. Okay, rice pastry means you can say a dough of pastry. A dough of rice, it looks like a pastry. So when the rice was all boiled, Granny put it into the mortar. Granny means the old lady. She put that pastry, that boiled rice dough into the mortar. The old man, what did he do? He lifted his hammer to pound the mass into a dough. और old man ने क्या किया? He took that hammer which was made of the wood out of that pine tree. He pounded it. उसको बार बार राइस को एक मिक्सी की तरह यूज करके उन्होंने क्या बनाया? A dough. And the blows fell heavy. Blows means, what is the meaning of blows? Means उसकी जो मार थी, उसकी जो कूटने का जो तरीका था, it fell very heavy and fast. और खूब धर धर कंटिन्यूस उन्होंने मारना शुरू किया till the pastry. How long? Till the pastry was all ready for baking. Okay, now what happened? Here, suddenly the whole mass. Now what happened? They were making the dough, but suddenly what happened? The whole mass turned into a heap of gold coins. When the old women took the hand mill and filled it with beans, began to grind, the gold dropped like rain. And then what did the lady do? She took that same dough, so the beans, into that grinder. That she made a mill also, isn't it? The main grinder. Then when she started grinding it, out of it what fell out? Dropped like rain. What? The gold dropped like rain, in the form of rain. Meanwhile, what happened? They had a very jealous, I told you before also, they had a very jealous neighbor. So meanwhile, the envious means jealous. The jealous neighbor peeped in at the window when the boiled beans were being ground. So they were peeping from the old couple's house, and what did they see? That they were grinding the beans. They were grinding the beans. Now what happened when they were grinding? Out came the gold coins, isn't it? So, goody me, cried the old hag, the old envious woman. Hag means the woman. As she saw each dripping of sauce turning into yellow gold. Now, while it was being grounded, what was falling down? The sauce was falling from the dripping. It was dripping out of that mill. So when that sauce was dripping out, the liquid was turning into yellow gold. This was what seen by that jealous old woman. Now, until in a few minutes, the tub under the mill was full of shining mass of gold. Now, what happened? The whole gold, it was the liquid which was falling on that tub. It all changed into shining mass of gold. So, the old couple were rich again. Now, can the jealous neighbor digest that? No, they were very jealous of it. The next day, the stingy and wicked neighbor came and borrowed the mortar and the magic mill. Stingy means miserly, conjuice. So miserly neighbor. So the next day what happened? The stingy and the wicked neighbor came to their house to borrow means udhar lena, to borrow the mortar and the magic mill. So they also wanted to have the gold. So they borrowed that mill, mortar and the mill. They filled one with boiled rice. Or what did they do? They filled the bowl with that mortar with boiled rice, and the other, in the mill, they put the beans. And why did they put the beans? So that they can grind it also. That is the reason why they took the other with the beans. Then the old man began to pound. The old lady, the husband, that is the neighbor, the jealous neighbor, they started pounding, and the women started grinding also. But at the first blow, what happened? And turn. What happened? The first blow, the pastry and the sauce turned into a foul mouse of worms. It changed into worms, means कीड़े में बदल गया. Still more angry at this. Naturally, they did not get the gold. They were jealous people, na? So they became more angry. And in anger, what did they do? They chopped the mill into pieces to use the wood as firewood. Okay? Now this is the second part of your of that lesson. Okay? Not long after that, the good old man dreamed again. Now, and the spirit of the dog spoke to him. telling him how the wicked people had burned the mill made from the pine tree. Now, what did the dog tell them? The dog told the old couple, the owner of that dog, that the spirit again came to his dreams. What did it tell them? That how the old wicked couple had burned the mill which was made from that pine tree. Now, what did they tell you again? What did they instruct? What did the dog instruct the couple? Take the ashes of the mill, sprinkle them on the withered trees, and they will bloom again, said the dog's spirit. Now, what was the instruction? Told the old couple to take the ashes of the mill which was burnt by the wicked neighbors. So it told to take the ashes and sprinkle them on the withered trees. Now, what is the meaning of withered? See, it's given over here. Withered means bare and dry. Okay. Now, what is the meaning of sprinkle? That means spread karna, sprinkling karna. Okay. So, the dog told them to take the ashes of the wood which was burnt by the old couple and told them to sprinkle them on the withered, that means dry and bare trees, and what will happen? The tree will bloom again. Who told? The spirit of the dog. The old man awoke. He got up and went at once to his wicked neighbor's house, where he found the miserable old pair sitting at the edge of their square fireplace. The जो old couple थे, जो old jealous people थे, they were sitting near the fireplace where they had burnt the tree, burnt the wood. In the middle of the floor, they were smoking and spinning also. They were doing nothing. They was just simply sitting near the square fireplace and smoking and spinning. Spinning means maybe they were making some cloth or something like that. From time to time, they warmed their hands and feet with the blaze. With the blaze means the flame. Means from time to time means off and on. Now this country is very cold, so they were warming their body with the wood they had burnt. Okay, with the blaze from the, this is the next page. Now here. Okay. Some bits of mill means the bits of mill was there and they were using that to get warmth for their body, while behind them lay a pile of the broken pieces, while some pieces of the wood was also lying behind them. That means they had chopped that wood, isn't it? So some they had put it in the fire, they made it into an ashes, and some broken pile of pieces were also behind them. Now what is the meaning of pile of broken pieces? Pile means bunch. Bunch means again it is a collective noun. Okay, it is a collective noun. So the good old humbly asked for the ashes. The poor, humble, he was such a good old man. What did he do? He asked for the ashes. Though the covetous couple, covetous means the greedy people, the greedy neighbors, the greedy couple turned up their nose at him and scolded him as if he was a thief. They started shouting at him. They made faces at him as if he was a thief. They let him fill his basket with the ashes. Now after that, let him means they allowed him to fill the basket with the ashes. On coming home, the old man took his wife into the garden. What did he do? He took his wife into the garden. It being winter season, isn't it? It was winter season at that time. Their favorite cherry tree was bare. Bare means dry. The cherry tree had become dry. Now, what did the old man do? He sprinkled a pinch of ashes on it. Pinch means a little bit of ashes on the bear's dry cherry tree which was in their garden. He sprinkled a piece of ashes on it, and lo, means it was a surprise. What happened? It sprouted blossoms until it became a cloud of pink blooms which perfumed the air. Now, pinch means a little. I have written the meanings here if you can see. Yeah, a pinch means a little. Sprouted means you must have eaten sprout वाले आप दाल मम्मी खिलाती हैं आपको. Sprouted means small. There are some beans होते हैं जैसे चना है, then you can say या मूंग होती है. These are the lentils which your mother give you as your healthy food. So you must have also studied these words in your science lesson also. So sprouted means what happened out of that dry bare tree, what started coming? Blossoms. Blossoms means flowers. Until jab tak it became a cloud of pink blooms. The whole tree was covered with flowers until it became a cloud of pink blooms. Pink blooms. The whole tree covered with pink, and it was looking like a cloud which perfumed. What is the meaning of perfumed? Scented. Khushbu deti hai flowers. So it perfumed the whole air also. The news of this filled the village. अब कोई ड्राई झाड़ है, अगर हमने भी अगर देखते हैं तो हमारे दिमाग में भी क्या आएगा? वाओ, ये तो बड़ा अच्छा न्यूज़ है, पता है. And you start telling your neighbors also. Your neighbors also will come to know about the news. So the news of this filled the village, and everyone ran out to see the wonder. So everybody started running and going towards that tree which was all suddenly it was blooming, though it was a winter season. The covetous couple also heard the story, and gathering up the remaining ashes of the mill, kept them to make withered trees bloom. Now this old, jealous, covetous, wicked couple, what did they do? They came to know that he has taken the ashes and sprinkled it, and the bare tree has started blooming. So they also collected, means gathering means collecting. So they also collected the remaining ashes of the mill and kept them to so that they can also make the withered means I told you before, bare and dry trees to bloom. The kind old man, hearing that his lord, the daimyo, was to pass through the high road near the... now listen, the old man means the old kind man. Now what did he hear? He heard that his lord means his landlord, उस घर उस जमीन के जो मालिक, he is called as the daimyo, isn't it, he was supposed to pass along the high road near the village, set out to see him taking his basket of ashes. Now what did the old couple do? They set out to see him. They wanted to meet him. See him means to meet him. So they taking his basket of ashes. As the train approached, train means जैसे आप जुलूस कहते हैं, isn't it? So that is जुलूस here during the festivals or during some political parties or something, some caravan is going, that is called as the train. So as the train approached, that approached means they came near, he means the old couple, they climbed up into the old withered cherry tree that stood by the wayside. Wayside means along the road. Now, in the days of the daimyos, it was the custom where when their lord passed by, for all the loyal people to shut up their high windows. Now, in those days, while the daimyos were common at that time, the people they were supposed to follow some customs. And what was they? When their lord, when the landlord, when the daimyo used to pass by, for all the loyal people who used to live in that particular land, they were supposed to close their high windows. They even pasted them fast with a slip of paper so as not to commit the impertinence of looking down on his lordship. Now, what else they do? They even pasted them fast. Pasted them means they closed it very fast and with a slip of paper so as not to commit the impertinence. Impertinence is not showing proper respect. So they did not dare to not to show the proper respect to their landlord or to their daimyo of looking down on his lordship. They dare not give not to give the respect to their daimyo. All the people along the road would fall upon their hands and knees and remain prostrate until the procession passed by. Means उस जमाने में as the daimyo the train of daimyo used to cross that land, the people of that land, the people who used to work in that daimyo's land, they were supposed to kneel down. They were supposed to kneel down on their hands and knees and remain prostrate. Prostrate means, see, the meaning is given over here. Lying on the ground, face downwards. Apna sar niche jhuka ke, they were supposed to kneel down with their hands and knees as the procession used to pass by. Okay, that is the train. Okay. Now what happened? See, the train drew near. Now, as the train was coming nearer and nearer, the old man has got up on that old withered tree, isn't it? One tall, competent man marched ahead, crying out to the people by the way. Means, jaise the train was coming nearer, a tall man, competent means he had all the ability with authority. He used to march ahead, means before that only he used to come forward and start shouting, crying loudly at the people. What did he used to tell? Get down on your knees, get down on your knees. Means अपने घुटने बल बैठ जाओ, अपने घुटने के बल बैठ जाओ. Like that he used to shout, and everyone kneeled down while the procession was passing. Suddenly, the leader of the van caught sight of the aged man up in the tree. Now suddenly what happened? The leader of that van, what did he see? That an aged man has climbed up in the tree. He was about to call out to him in an angry tone. गुस्से में चिल्लाने ही वाला था. Now at that particular moment what happened? But seeing he was such an old man, he pretended not to notice him and passed him by. Now what? That old man was very old, isn't it? He was a very old man. So when the leader of that van saw that an old man, that he was a very old man, he has climbed up the tree, he pretended as if he has not noticed him and he simply passed him by. Okay, so when the daimyo's palanquin, what is the meaning of palanquin? See, the meaning is given here. Can you see? It is means a royal van, or you can say a cart. So when the royal van was passing by, draw near, the old man, taking a pinch of ashes from his basket, what did he do? He scattered it over the trees. That is, on the old withered tree. What happened? In a moment, it burst into blossoms. The whole tree was covered with flowers. The delighted daimyo ordered the train to be stopped. The daimyo was very happy. He immediately told the train to stop and got out to see the wonder. That was a magic, isn't it? So he came out to see the wonder. Calling the old man to him, he called the old man to climb down from the tree, and when he came nearer, he thanked him and ordered presents of silk robes, sponge cake, fans, and other rewards to be given to him. Okay, so he was very happy. He even invited him to his castle. Isn't it? So the old man went gleefully. What is the meaning of gleefully? Happily. So the old man went happily to his home to share his joy with his dear old wife. Okay, so he wanted to share the happiness with his wife. Okay, so the next page. But when the greedy neighbor heard of it, now what happened? The greedy neighbor heard about the old man's luck. So he took some of the magic ashes and went out on the highway. He went on that same highway. There he waited until a daimyo's train came along. And instead of kneeling down like the crowd, what did he do? He climbed a withered cherry tree. Okay? When the daimyo himself was almost directly under him, उसके नीचे ही था वो. किसके नीचे? झाड़ के नीचे, that withered tree, just the daimyo was just crossing. He threw a handful of ashes over the tree. Now what happened? Which did not change a particle. Not a single, no magic, nothing happened to that tree. The wind blew the fine dust in the noses and eyes of the daimyo and his wife. जो dust था, the ash, it all went into his eyes. Okay? Now what happened after that? Such sneezing and choking. What is the meaning of choking? They got suffocated. So there was lot of sneezing and choking. It spoiled all the pomp and dignity of the procession. अब इतने बड़े great people के अगर आपके you say that what is that train? He is a landlord. He was, and in that procession, what happened? The ashes, the dust, it entered into the nose and eyes. Now what happened? They started sneezing and choking. Now what happened? The procession was all spoiled. The man whose business it was to cry. Now I told you before also, there was one leader who used to cry loudly to get down on your knees, isn't it? So the same man, what did he do? He seized the old fool. What is the meaning of seized? What did he do? He caught hold of that old covetous, jealous neighbor by the collar, dragged him from the tree. Kheencha usko. He simply dragged him from the tree and tumbled him. Tumbled him means he threw him down and his ash basket into the ditch. Ditch means the gadha. It means gadha only, into the ditch by the road. Then beating him soundly, they gave him a very good beating. He left him for dead. Now they beat him so much that the jealous old man was dead. Thus the wicked old man died in the mud, but the kind friend of the dog dwelt in peace and plenty. And both he and his wife lived to a green old age. Green means what? Healthy old, healthy, active, and prosperous. Now see here, green means, here it means healthy, active, and prosperous old age. They lived a long life. They were very happy throughout their life. Now, who has written this? It is written by William Leonard Griffiths. This story is a Japanese tale. I told you, tale means a story. It is a Japanese story. Okay, children?